So I want to implement some Montessori at my house, but I don't really know where to start.
So when we're looking at introducing Montessori at home, what we want to establish first is where your children are at developmentally, how old they are, but also are they attending a Montessori service already, because that will determine what they've got access to outside of the home, which can affect the type of things you do at home. So for somebody who is new to Montessori and the children are not going to a Montessori service because you're on the wait list, you can't get in, there's none around you, practical life is really where you want to focus on, because those skill sets, especially in the first 6 years of life, are extremely important to the development of an independent child. So some simple things you can change are, the child having access to prepare food themselves, or to grab their own snacks, to pour their own drinks, helping you cook food, and giving them age-appropriate tasks that they can do in the kitchen, because they really, all of us as humans want to be contributing to something, feel like we belong somewhere and that we have purposeful work to do. So it can be as a 12-month-old is washing lettuce for your salad, or cutting up cucumber. It can be washing potatoes. You're mixing in that sensory type of play with water with purposeful work, which is also, scrubbing potatoes is indirect preparation for writing. There are so many different things that simple task can prepare your child for in later life. Having choice about what they wear and having access to their clothing and being given the time and ability to dress themselves are really simple things that you can do that don't require you purchasing special materials or, special wardrobes. You can do things with what you have at home that help your child become independent. If you are looking at your toys situation, are you overwhelmed? Do you have too many toys? Do you, a lot of children don't need a lot of things, but for some reason our society has gotten to a point where we think that our children need everything, and we feel like we're denying them of a great childhood if we're not giving them all of the latest and greatest things that are coming out in the Toy World catalogue. So looking at the toys, are they purposeful? Do they have a control of error? Is your child able to put something into it to make it work? Or is it a button they press and it just does everything for them? You really want toys that have a purpose, isolated concept, that aren't overwhelming and overstimulating, that allows them to be creative, and not too many of it. So a lot of the practical life activities in a home, you don't have to have small shelves with the trays. You don't have to do that at home. But you can have their cutlery and their plates and their cups at a height that is available and accessible to them. So you can do the trays if you want to, if you're moving towards a more structured homeschooling type of environment, but just know that you don't have to do that to be able to put Montessori in to your home. When you are looking for resources or toys, you want to be looking for things that are aesthetically pleasing, that are natural as possible. And just because a toy is wood does not make it Montessori. It is about whether it is concrete, whether it has a concept, and whether, again, it's an isolated concept. But a lot of marketing, when it comes to toy companies and things like that, the toy is wood, so they say it's Montessori, but it's not. There are certain things that a piece of material requires for it to fall and work in a Montessori environment. So there's separate videos that you can watch of ours on our YouTube channel about control of error and isolated concepts, and there's even videos of when I've gone through toy aisles talking about different type of toys and whether they're beneficial or not, and the reasons why, so that you can learn a bit more about those choices and how to make stronger and better decisions as a parent who's looking for Montessori to be at home. Some other things you can do is the way you as an adult talk to the child, how you see them and what they're capable of, giving and allowing time for them to be successful at certain tasks that might be difficult for them, but you know that they can be successful at. That ability to give a child time is the greatest gift that you can give at home. And praise. Praise is a really hard one as a parent because a lot of the time you're super proud of every little thing that your child does. But there is a lot of research and enough of it to showcase that praising a child can be really detrimental to their own ability to know and make judgment, but also to feel that intrinsic motivation to do things instead of doing things just because they please you or because you say that they're good at something. You, for instance, they might do a drawing and they bring it up to you and like, look at what I did. And you're going, oh my God, that's amazing. Let's put it on the fridge out loud. But inside you're like, it's not that good. Doesn't look that great. What is it? But also that child might inside be going, it's just lines on a paper, Mum. I didn't actually do anything. But you're over exaggerating this praise attached to it because you think your child needs it. But you can really change and shift that conversation to be more meaningful. And it might be, I can see that you chose green and blue. Do you want to tell me about it? It's still positive, but it opens up a dialogue and a conversation with your child to talk about whatever it is, the thing that they created. So it's still positive, which is the difference I think people look at when we talk about praise and being positive. You can be positive and constructive in the same type of space, but it has a longer term meaning, a longer term effect on the child when you're opening it up for them to give feedback, their own feedback on whatever it is that they're trying to get you to notice. And so that's the same in an education setting. We're trying to move away from that over praising children, because a lot of it that we're praising them for are things that they're naturally built to do, whether that's walking, whether that's going to the toilet. There are things that we biologically are going to end up doing, but we're overpraising these things that are actually just simple expectations. So we really want to have a look at the impact that has. And there's lots of readings and blogs and things like that available on our website for you around the whole praise and, what can you use instead of saying good job, some other type of statements that you can make. But it will be one of the hardest things to change, especially if you came from a household of parents who did the same to you and a schooling system that did the same. So shifting away from overpraising is going to be hard, but very, 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 very good for your child if you can move yourself towards a more constructive type of language at home.